If the self experiences its own existence and the translations of reality through the body-mind, and there are hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways in the body-mind, what happens when there's a region of the body-mind that doesn't have content to effectively support the self in its own existence? And or there's regions of information in the body-mind that don't have connection with each other. There's different regions of activity, different spaces of information, and they maybe don't carry the same information, and they maybe don't have connection with each other. So when they're activated, they're providing independent navigation that doesn't have continuity or fluidity with other regions of the body-mind that are providing navigation. And so then you might get things like disruptions in your sense of self, or disruptions in a sense of reality. And a disruption in a sense of self might be like, I feel like this person one day and this other person another day. Disruptions in reality might be, I'm around this stimulus and sometimes it feels this way, and I'm around this same stimulus and other times it feels this other way. And so there might be these disruptions and these unique activations, different types of activity as you experience your own sense of self, kind of internally through your own self-perception, and kind of with your own sense of energy and maybe your preferences and stuff. And then it also affects the way you interact with the world and engage with other people and situations and experiences and opportunities and different types of stimulus especially. And so when this happens, then the self is not able to be unified within its own existence, and the unique activations that are translating reality can reduce the potency, the power, the precision, the presence, the particulars of experiencing everyday life. And this can be in like a small and subtle degree, or it could be really major and dramatic and affecting all of life all of the time. But regardless, it's important to bring awareness to this, because the true essence of the self has power to reconstruct these regions of the body-mind and to create a greater unity of the love of the beingness of the totality of the self. And so if there's regions of the body-mind that don't carry effective content to navigate existence, or there's regions of the body-mind that don't have fluid connectivity to navigate existence. And again, this affects the way the self connects with the self and the way the self experiences all of life and the relationship between those two realities from the inside out. Then the self can be like, okay, hey, I'm noticing this thing happening. And, I could just continue with my life and just let it be what it is. Or I can choose to be like, hey, I actually have infinite power inside of my beingness. What if I use this infinite power of my internal energy to change things and reconstruct this body mind and shapeshift this content of the body mind and expand this connectivity throughout the body mind and start to experience myself in greater unity and start to experience everyday life in greater fluidity and harmony. And what if that process could create the greatest sense of loving liberation imaginable? What if my beingness could be restored to greater health and well-being than I've ever known in this human life? What if all of the parts of myself could be together when maybe that's never been possible, not even since childhood? Maybe there's a chance to reclaim my power in this, and maybe I don't have to continue life where it feels like there's these different parts of myself who have a different sense of self, and there's these different components of reality that are maybe not optimal, or maybe not connecting effectively, or maybe there's disruptions in the translations of navigation, and maybe there's disruption in the regulation, and maybe there's disruption in the way that these different things connect. And maybe I don't like these automated thought forms. Maybe I don't like this internal dialogue that's happening. Maybe I don't like having this chronic experience of emotional response. Maybe I don't have to stay in this experience if I don't like it. Maybe I have infinite power inside my beingness to choose something different. But maybe you choose that and you don't know how. Okay, how do I reconstruct hundreds of trillions of energetic pathways in my body mind when I can't even perceive what's happening inside of there? Hello, body mind, how you doing? How do I reach inside of you and just rebuild you from the ground up? That sounds, what? How would I do that? Because that's what it is. If there's disruptions in the connection of self aspects there's disruptions in connections of experience, if there's certain types of thought forms, whether that's instinctive narration and dialogue, or emotions, feelings, and somatic sensations, or action patterns, habits, behaviors, and habitual responses in action pattern movement patterns of the body mind, if it's disruption in the translation of how you encounter orientation in time and space or different types of stimulus, if there's disruption in being able to communicate with other people and have certain types of interaction with other people, if there's disruption in the way that you associate with different aspects of yourself, whether that's with your actual physical body or whether it's with your energetic essence or whatever it might be, then it's because of something happening much deeper beyond awareness. And if you directly try to address those thoughts that are coming up and try to change it that way, it will never work. It will never work. It will never work, because the thought forms and these surface clues that you can directly observe are a minuscule fraction of what's happening deeper inside. And so what we have to do is find that thing that's deeper inside and change that thing that's deeper inside. Shapeshift it, remold it, resculpt it, reconstruct it, rebuild it, recreate it, so that it can be all that it is meant to be. The amazing aspect about this process is that the self doesn't actually have to change who it is. The self gets to actually expand into more of who it has always been, but maybe didn't know that it was. And so if you're like, oh, but I don't know, like, I don't want to like change and like become someone different. I don't want to like do this healing journey and then like not be me, and like what was going to happen if I like evolve beyond this like thing I've known my entire existence. Like I've always experienced my body mind this way. Like what if I like lose myself and like I'm not me anymore? That's not what happens. What happens is the self actually expands into more of who it really is, without the restrictions, without the disruptions, without the dysregulation, without the confusion, without the separation. And then the self actually gets to be more of who it has always been, but maybe didn't know that it was, because it never got to experience itself free from all of that stuff, or free of all of that stuff. And so we can go into the body mind, find out those things that need to be activated and reconstructed, and just reconstruct them. And it's simple and easy. And that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to help with. And I have lots of different services and programs that help with this exact thing, but in a bunch of different ways, in a lot of different ways, a lot of different depths of, how much time do you want to invest? How serious do you want to be? How playful do you want to be? How intimate do you want to be? How casual do you want to be? Lots of different stuff. So how my different services and programs really hone in on this and allow us to go into the body mind and be like, okay, here's the experience that's happening. Here's what you want to change, or here's your intention, or here's what you wish to achieve in the healing journey of loving liberation. Here's the space you want to reclaim your power, and here's the place you want to experience healing restoration in, and here's the place you want to cultivate loving liberation in, or here's the aspect of personal experience you want to shape shift a little bit, or maybe expand, or whatnot. Okay, so here's what's happening. Here's the intention regarding what's happening. Now let's go into the body mind, find out where it's happening and why. And this doesn't require us to look at past experiences, which is the awesome part. And so we go into the body mind, we activate what it needs to be activated, we figure out where in the body mind it's coming from and why, and then we decide how to shapeshift it, how to change it, how to reconstruct that area of the body mind. And almost always, we don't need to look at past experiences. Almost all of the time. Nearly all of the time, we don't need to look at past experiences. Sometimes it might be appropriate to, especially if that's something that you want to do. But if you don't want to look at past experiences, we never have to. And we can do this effectively and pinpoint those regions of the body mind that are affecting personal reality and totally transform them. We don't need to look at past experiences if you don't want to. If you want to and you want to be able to transmute this very specific occurrence that you know is affecting you, then we can also look at that. But the amazing thing about these concepts and techniques and practices and all these services and programs that I offer is that we don't have to look at past experiences, and we can do it even more effectively most of the time. And so please explore all my different offerings. There's consciousness consultations, serving as a healing journey guide, implicit revelations discussions, treasure mapping services. You get to create a personalized diagram, treasure map of your body mind to understand how this brain body wiring is being activated and affecting experiences for parts of your consciousness. There's personalized Mirrorthon journeys, and those are all through one-on-one or group audio video calls with me. And then there's also lots of videos and practices and programs and courses and playbooks and all this incredible stuff. And then there's also merchandise, which is a much more low-key way to invest in the healing journey. You can just have like a mug or like a t-shirt with like a mantra on it, and like that like kickstarts your everyday healing journey of life. Kind of low-key, not like investing in like a 3-year course or something. So there's lots of different options, and all of them have the power to affect this healing journey in positive and profound ways. And I'm so excited to share, because every single piece of the magic. Oh, and Mystical Odyssey Imaginatives too. Can't forget about those. Those are some of the best things ever. All of these things have created such profound change in my life when that felt completely impossible, and independent of all outside coaching or guidance or resources or anything. Every single thing that I offer was originally sculpted through my own personal explorations of understanding and transforming the human experience from the inside out to liberate and expand the essence of the totality of my divine consciousness. And so all of this is just like super like original and unique and magical and wondrous, and independent of all outside anythingness. These things have been sculpted through my own personal healing journey, and so I'm just like triply, quadruply passionate about them, because they're just the greatest divine, creative, wisdom-filled expression of my soul. No big deal. But also because they create such powerful change. It's effective transformation. It's an enjoyable process. And the results are rewarding every step of the way, not just when you reach the destination of achieving your intention. And it's fun and lighthearted and enjoyable, but it's also effective and transcendent and grounded in a neuroscientific understanding of the body, mind, and divine spiritual attunement with the consciousness that is within experience. It's just amazing, and I'm so excited to share. So please explore all of my different offerings. I would love to connect with you through KRISTIN'S Consciousness Consultancy. Have a beautiful and blessed day, and keep choosing personal power reclamation even when it feels impossible, because that is when you get to the spaces of the greatest rewards. And then once we figure out it's raining. It's raining, and I want to get my recording together. I sweat.